5, 4, 3, 2, Mariah Carey.
Welcome back, everyone. Ooh, nope, that's that got me.
5, 4, 3, 2, Mariah Carey.
My name is Avery Jackman.
My name is Safa Ali Day.
My name is Matthew Dawkins.
My name's Susie.
My name is Aaron Perry.
Welcome back to the Youth Leaders Lounge, hearing from tomorrow's CEOs today, where we talk about the world around us with some of the greatest minds here in Toronto. Today's episode, we're talking about leadership. And, what are your thoughts on, having to climb the corporate ladder to get a seat at the table?
But do we need a ladder?
There it is.
Do you know what I mean? Like, why are we trying to react out old ways and systems that we know don't work anymore? What ladder are we trying to climb? To be on top of what? Of who? I don't know if that works for me.
And so, my question, my beautiful panel again, my question for you is this. Do you believe that anyone can be a leader? Let's start with you, Matt.
I think everyone has the capacity to bring something valuable to a table. And I don't think leadership is necessarily a goal that I think signifies like the ultimate form of success. I just don't think because we're leading a project that means that we're the most important.
Oh, you ate that.
So
yeah, you ate that.
So I think there are people who have great leadership skills, and there are people who bring value in other vast ways. That's what we are. Yeah, so there are people who can make great leaders because their skills are suitable for leadership, and there are people whose skills are suitable for other things within the team. So I think some people make great leaders, and some people can contribute in other really meaningful ways.
Yeah, I think sometimes we forget that within an organization, it's not just about the head, right? What's the saying? There is no head without the neck.
Exactly.
And it's sometimes we need a strong neck. We need the folks that support these leaders. And I think sometimes we think that leadership just only means dictatorship, but there's so many other layers to that.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel in these workplaces, it's really every man for himself. Aaron, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that in kind of society today, it's kind of seen that anyone can be a leader, but I think from what you were saying, it's there are very distinct values that should be embodied within leadership. It's not just you overseeing people and telling people what to do. And I feel like it's kind of become misconstrued as that. Not recently. I think it's been like that for a very long time. But I think that, I think leaders are supposed to embody very specific skills like what you were talking about, and should be bringing those certain things to the table for a reason, because you are responsible for not only yourself and goals being met, but the welfare of your team. And I think that leadership, obviously, I think a lot of people find themselves wanting to go into leadership for the wrong reasons. But at the end of the day, it is meeting a goal, but also ensuring that, everyone in your team or your party are well and taken care of and feel like they're represented by the work that you're doing, and that they're, being cared for, and that you're being responsible as a leader. It's important to embody those certain traits, and it could vary based on roles, obviously, or what leadership requires. But I think that it's definitely more than just you being in a position of power and you taking on responsibility to just kind of do this and tell people what to do.
You made a good point about what leaders look like physically. And I think there is a level of power and privilege here that plays. That representation piece of leadership, I think, is so critical because, once again, working at BIPOC Executive Search, our whole job is putting BIPOC folk into leadership positions. How they choose to go about their position is, once again, their prerogative. However, just having them sit at the table, already changes the work environment. And so, kind of to piggyback off that, just quickly, I guess we can, answer this, maybe in one sentence or two. What are your thoughts on, having to climb the corporate ladder to get a seat at the table?
But do we need a ladder?
There it is.
Do you know what I mean? Why are we trying to react out old ways and systems that we know don't work anymore.
Mm.
What ladder are we trying to climb to be on top of what, of who? I don't know if that works for me.
I feel like there's that where you already see the successions of like many organizations, which like here, that are doing their things, hosting their own things, and creating what they wish to see. However, I feel like with some of those corporations that are like up there, unfortunately, still to this day, it's one of those where I feel like it's still important to kind of climb it, but in a way of how you do it and why you want to do it. For me, if I were to, especially in film or any creative stuff I have to do, lo and behold, the things that do sell are more cultural things, but the ones that are making it are the ones that are white and the ones that don't really have much culture or anything to kind of fall back on. So, for me, in whatever all the sects that I work in, especially even in medical, it's one of those where it's like I'm doing it for the sake of inspiring myself or see what I aspire to be, but also just so I can figure out what systems I can break down and what systems I can encourage other people to develop on their own in a safe and healthy way, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with Susie about the concept of like a ladder, and I think it's very like fraught with, we talked about power earlier and about how like people have used it for all the wrong reasons. And I think when I think about climbing a ladder, I hate the term corporate ladder because, as you were saying, like on top of whom? For me, like climbing a ladder should be a more like personal goal. Like when I think about climbing a ladder within like any structured institution, it's all about who are the people that you're bringing with you, how are you elevating yourself, rather than climbing a ladder to get to a position where you can enforce power upon peoples. So I think for me, it's about achieving a new or a higher sense of self to like redistribute knowledge, wealth, power, means. That's what it's about for me.
So instead of climbing this ladder, how about like redistribution?
There we go.
I love that. Well, I think that really sums up our piece on leadership. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Youth Leaders Lounge, hearing from tomorrow's CEOs today. Next episode, we'll be talking about the Great Resignation. So until then, take care. Goodbye.
Good job.
Okay, great. Let's just keep pushing.